Noble promise here. The sacrifice to get the shot. High voltage area. There is a place up here, convenient to get a better view for you to see the Chickamauga Water Authority dam and the associated scenery. Here, nearing the end of the month of July, to honor ancestor Emmett Till. Another day of rough draft reading. My ancestor speaks. The life, death, and spirit of Emmett Till. Let's go. The reading yesterday had to do with Mamie Till Mobley, who visited Los Angeles in the 1990s. Let me pick up further along the way in chapter 6, our rough draft reading of My Ancestor Speaks. After the visit to Los Angeles by Mamie Till Mobley, I promised to her with words aloud the following. I know I did not attend your function at the church, but I promised to do my part on your behalf to keep the memory of your son, Emmett Till, alive. So be it. It is a word kept. Noble promise here. Reading another paragraph. This one subtitled with Back in Money. To explain the reason her son Emmett might have been accused of whistling at Mrs. Carolyn Bryant, Till's mother forever swore that her son was only using a breathing technique she had taught him. She did not believe Emmett had whistled at a white woman, quote unquote, but he was only doing what he was trained to do by her. Emmett Till had a stuttering problem sometimes. She taught him that if he simply turned the breath he was not able to utter his word, to whistle instead to gain composure and set his breath ready for saying the word. Carolyn Bryant, the wife of one of the lowly murderers, had identified Emmett Till as one who insulted her with sordid gestures and words while inside of the store. Such actions would certainly be unbecoming towards a quote-unquote Southern lady. Her claims against Emmett Till were retracted by her decades later. Her embellishments during the course of the trial, favoring a justification by her defendant husband and brother-in-law, only by the standards of a Jim Crow South would that make any sense. defense. During proceedings, she was definitely not testifying against her husband. Quite the contrary, indeed. Next paragraph. It was that Money, Mississippi courtroom where the two killers had sat enamored with confidence. They displayed their lack of concern, which was not even rival to a child placed on timeout. Before that charade of a trial, there was the arrival of Emmett Till's body from Mississippi to Chicago. Before the trial was held, there had been the halting of a county-sanctioned and state-supported quick burial of Emmett Till. His battered and defiled body equaled strong implications and evidence that a horrific crime indeed had occurred. It would be before that trial, Mamie Till Mobley would have finally succeeded in getting her son's body from a state, Mississippi, determined it was to keep the Till murder hidden from public knowledge, fortunately to no avail. The Chicago neighborhood of the Mortician where Emmett Till had been delivered for blocks around was filled with the odor of Till's steadily decaying body. The smell was everywhere, although he was contained inside a large wooden box nailed shut. After exposed for 3 days beneath the surface of the Tallahatchie River, a very battered human body smells of rotting flesh. Not even the innocence of a boy like Emmett Till could be spared this indignity. In the Tallahatchie River, there was a foot recognized by a teenager fishing along the bank. With the help of a local boarder, boater, the body of Emmett Till was pulled out. The identifiable finger ring, once worn by his deceased father, was the only means of identifying Till's naked body. We're getting just into some very meaty, revealing, sensational parts of My Ancestor Speaks, the life, death, and spirit of Emmett Till. And you, I hope, are in the mood for more. I mentioned yesterday, I'll say it again, more readings all the way through August. August being the month that he was abducted, August 28th. 3 days later, found in the Tallahatchie. So far, over 20 days within the month of July, his birth month. He just turned, in spirit, 80 years old. To give you perspective, the Reverend Jesse Jackson turns 80 years old in October. And July being, okay, let me say this. January, months after Emmett Till's birth in 1942, in the month of January, just as a comparison, Muhammad Ali. All three of these men were of the same era. All three. So without that dastardly deed, very likely that jovial, funny leader of the pack, Emmett Till, very likely, definitely, possibly, would have, could be, should be, kind of in a way ought to be, just from a hand raised on my behalf, but we know there is a planner of all things bigger than all of us. But of course, rest in power, ancestor Emmett Lewis Till. And there goes one of the Chattanooga Choo-Choos. Noble promise. Until tomorrow. Have a good day.